Yeah.
All right, cool. So Jotaro versus GR is the topic.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think Jotaro
Yeah.
wins? I want to hear an argument for this.
Oh, just because it's just been stated many times that time stop is the strongest ability in both part 4 and 6,
You want to
and
pull?
there's no reason to.
Go ahead.
Oh
Wait,
yeah,
keep
yeah.
going. Continue. Continue. I want to hear the
And
whole sentence.
there's no reason to assume that it wouldn't include Requiem.
Okay. So can you give me the statement from part 6, please?
Yeah, hold on, give me a second.
Sure.
I don't even have any of these. Fucking.
That's okay. It's the one from Visitor Part 8, right? I can get it for you if you want. Let me turn off my freaking background noise thing. Perfect.
Are you guys debating right now?
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Kind of, yeah.
Yes. Am I audible, by the way? Can I be heard?
Holy shit. Okay, hold on. I have so many fucking pictures on my phone. It's not even close to
I can be heard,
organized.
right? I'm audible?
Yeah,
Okay,
I hear you
cool.
perfectly.
Cool.
Oh shit, I actually have it. Okay, here.
Holy fuck. This bed is
I
so
fuck.
crowded.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, here's just one of them.
Oh my god, this is... I have to, like, adjust my eyes for this.
Wait,
This isn't the right one. This isn't the right one,
Yeah,
dude.
fuck. Okay,
It's
okay,
the other
okay.
one. This is the JoJo Go-Go
Yeah.
one, I think.
Yeah, hold on.
Or you guys are debating JoJo's?
Huh?
If you have the actual book, though.
Me? I do have the actual book. What do you mean?
I actually
Yeah.
have the part 5. Yeah, me too.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
I don't...
got the part 5 like this. Yeah, I actually got the actual manga.
Are we talking
I don't buy the manga, so I don't know.
Okay, oh yeah, I actually sent it.
Okay, yeah, I see. It says the strongest known stand ability can stop time for a
I'm
few
talking about the
seconds.
manga.
Do you think this statement's like very consistent though? You think so?
It's a very like quick, very straightforward, so
I mean, I don't know.
I just think that like
Go ahead. Sorry.
oh yeah, sorry. And then it's like and overall just Star Platinum just has like better speed, just has been stated to be like, both physically like strongest, like, strength and like,
Okay.
speed.
I mean, we can address that later because
Along
we're
with
kind
the,
of on the the ability point right now.
arguably-
So
Well, I mean, I guess if you don't include part 8, like that bullshit.
I think part 8 is like
Arguably
part 8 is
the
like really
strongest,
shitty in terms
ability.
of. I think part 8's really shitty ability wise.
Yeah.
But regardless,
But,
I don't want to.
yeah.
I don't want to go. I don't want to like move away from the main point that we were talking about in the first place, which is the ability thing. I think we can address the physical stuff later, but in terms of the ability stuff, you think it's like very consistent this is true or what? I don't think it's very consistent that this is the case, even though it's been stated,
It's been stated multiple times that it's the strongest ability in both part 4 and 6 that Jotaro was the strongest.
Okay, and
in
how does
terms
that
of, like, understand.
make
So-
the statement consistent though, is my question.
Well, there's just nothing that contradicts it almost every time.
You don't think so?
Like, yeah, there really hasn't been anything that contradicted it. The only moment was when, Jotaro, you can't like use Jotaro against Pucci like with White Snake because he was, off guarded and
Hi?
What's up, dude?
Nigga's been like a millennium.
I've been hiding, yeah. Wait, hold on. My things are truncated, bro. I can't see your username. Read me your username. Or actually speak. I might understand your name.
Tensei.
Oh, this is Tensei. What's up, dude?
Yeah, they changed my
Okay.
name to Shinra for whatever fucking reason. I don't know.
Bruh. Okay. I've seen like 30
Wait,
guys
is this
that have
an
the same
open
name as
debate or can
Shinra.
I say something?
This is just, I mean, we just agreed to debate one-on-one, so who cares, but...
No, I was just gonna say that it's stated in the like part 4 is like Grease Diamond is stronger than like Star Platinum. It's just like really
Yo,
contradictory.
wait.
What's
Yo,
up?
Hyype,
What's up, dude?
what's good, fella?
What up? What up? How's the video coming along, bro?
Yo, I'm feeling. Thing is, like, I wasn't making the video because I was like sick. Like you
Yeah,
can hear
yeah,
like a little bit of my voice. But
yeah.
tomorrow I'm gonna record it because I feel way better,
Okay, there you go. Good ups, good ups. I'm waiting.
and
I'm
I'll edit
ready.
it tomorrow.
I've been checking YouTube every
So
day, bruh. You're edging me. But
that's fine. Wait, you guys are arguing part 4?
no, we're talking about GR versus Jotaro. Well, not we're talking. We're debating GR versus Jotaro. Sorry.
That's such a spite.
Okay.
Oh, I'm assuming Griff got the right side then, right?
The right side. Shut the
What?
fuck up.
Wait,
It's not.
Griff,
It's
are you
not Griff.
arguing?
It's not Griff. It's Odd4U. He's my opponent.
I agree
But
with Hyype.
let me go back to what I was saying. Okay,
Obviously, yeah.
so I want to kind of touch on the thing that you're talking about with Poochie. Why don't the well, like I understand why you think that we can't use Poochie, but why don't you think that we can? Like, what's your reasoning for that?
What is he typing, by
Okay.
the way?
I just had to finish this bowl. Okay.
Oh.
Damn,
Okay.
fat
Okay.
ass
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, you need CPR, bro.
This shit hits. Okay.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
continue.
Okay. So my point was okay. So the only time when Jotaro has been defeated was during well, I like when he got his stand stolen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the only time when this statement doesn't count or like isn't like true is when the arc where Made in Heaven exists, because then Made in Heaven is the stronger stand ability. It does defeat Jotaro. So the only contradiction about this statement would be during Made in Heaven, but this statement has been said many times before Made in Heaven has been introduced.
Okay. Well, why do you think
So
that Made in Heaven?
so
Why do you
like I
think that
just
Made in Heaven was able to be stronger? Like, what do you think makes it stronger than
just
Time Stop?
just better ability overall. Its speed was massively stronger than Star Platinum. Just completely overwhelmed and just yeah.
Okay,
JoJo just
so
really did stand a chance.
the first note that I get from this is one that you can be fast enough to, I guess, blitz Jotaro before he can time stop one. But I do want to kind of touch on another point, is that we're both talking about time abilities, like time-based abilities, correct?
Yeah.
So there is reasoning that one time-based ability can be stronger than another time-based ability, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do know that Araki like consistently states in like 100 interviews that he thinks that all time abilities are the most invincible abilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So my point is that these statements are inconsistent because the logic of the story states otherwise. Like, if there is an ability that just outright stomps on and is narratively scaling above time-based abilities, then I think that it should be stronger than Star Platinum's ability, regardless of whatever stated by Araki. Not Araki, but I guess Araki, yeah, he wrote it. I'm fucking stupid. But yeah, in the manga, regardless, I feel like if there's just so much overwhelming evidence to this point, then I don't think that we should like regard these like, and this is really the only statement that really counts, to be honest. The one in part 4 doesn't really mean anything, but this is the only statement that really counts, So I don't think that it really makes sense when we compare it to what we actually see in the story. But if you want to address that,
What
go
do we
ahead.
see in this? What do we see in the story that contradicts this?
Well, I told you, I think that like Revert to Zero or GR's ability is both shown to be and narratively implied to be something that scales above time-based stands or time-based abilities. And I feel like if we have a universe in which time-based abilities, and Araki literally says this too, he lists about like a bunch of different abilities where he's like stopping
you
time,
please,
reversing time. You want me to show you the interview? Yeah, but let me continue what I was saying. I'll show you the interview later,
Yeah,
but
go
he
ahead.
says that stopping time, reversing time, erasing time, whatever, etc., are all like super invincible, strong. Like they're the strongest, they're the most invincible, because time in general is what he considers to be the most invincible ability, right? Just being able to control time. So if there's a stand that exists that can both narratively scale above these abilities and also is shown to be above these abilities, and I feel like that stand would, or at least the logic of the story of like the entirety of part 5 would violate this statement. I don't think that it really makes any sense considering it. I mean, if you want to if you want to say like, hey, and this is the way that I interpret it half the time, but if you want to say, hey, like, if what Araki is referring to here is that the ability to like manipulate time is the most invincible, then I would agree, right? But to be honest, like, I don't see this as like this is the most strong stand ability that's ever been conceived ever. You know what I'm saying? You think that you would like understand that somewhat?
But I would also argue that Return to Zero is also a form of, time manipulation. So I get you could include so I would say that so,
Well, it's
the ability of Return to Zero could also be included along with Star Platinum. I wouldn't put Return to Zero as, above time, just something that also manipulates time.
well, I don't think it just like
It's just that
directly manipulates. I think it has to do a lot more with like manipulating like fate, or I mean, I guess as it's stated, like it dominates the energy of souls. But I feel like
it does have
it's
Return to
narratively.
Zero does have fate manipulation.
What
It
I'm
does have
saying
fate
is that I
manipulation.
think that it's narratively shown and stated to be something different. You know, I mean,
Okay,
a
but
lot
then
of the
how is
stuff,
that?
I'm going to be arguing here is gonna be narrative based, because I think it's legitimately like within the narrative that Araki writes, the strongest stand ability that's ever been conceived ever. Like regardless of the one-off little statements that don't really make sense, like this is like narratively the strongest ability that's ever been conceived. So.
Okay, but then how does that like correlate to like? Yeah, Return to Zero should narratively be stronger, but like, how do we know if it actually is? Like, what is your argument for like, something like Return to Zero, or just like Requiem overall just being a stronger stand than like something like Star Platinum? Can you please give me any like, speed feats, like, ability like win cons?
I mean,
You know,
sure, I can do
like
that, but that's not what the narrative argument
yeah.
is. I'm saying that like throughout the entirety of the story, and I'm sure you've read Part 5, the entire basis for defeating Diavolo, and what Polnareff says like 1,000 times, is that they need to find an ability or a power that's beyond stands. Like, the ability of the boss is so invincible to the point where they have to find a new use for the arrow that goes beyond what existing stands can possibly achieve. That's like the entire concept of
Well,
Part 5. That's the whole battle between the protagonist and the villain. So what do you mean?
So I definitely okay. So the point of them trying to get a stronger stand, or like the arrow, yes, that is true. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
think like overall that like it's like they weren't like specifically looking for a stand that is above all lovers. It was just us. They were looking for an ability that could beat Diavolo, which there's many
That's not true. I mean,
abilities.
yes, but both of those can be true. Those aren't mutually exclusive. You
But
can't just say
yeah, it was
one's
both
true
it
and
was
one's
both
not.
it was both stated. I mean, yeah, but like it was never stated that like, oh, hey, we're looking for an ability that's above all others. Like, it was never
That's
specifically stated.
exactly, they say like I can pull statements for you word for word where it says we're looking like it's a power beyond stands, like it's something beyond what can already be achieved through the arrow. Like it says like a
Yeah.
thousand times. I mean, I don't know, like what other way could you interpret that than like being beyond stands? Because it's like
Okay,
there's two uses. It's the same, it's the same arrow. So there's two uses for the
I
same
accept the
arrow.
statement.
Yeah, sure, I'll send you the statement. But there's one use for the arrow, which unlocks a stand within a user, and the other one, which is beyond stands, or like beyond what already like exists and what stands can do.
Okay, then how does
So yeah,
being
sure.
beyond stands, getting another ability, how does that correlate to just being just stronger just cause,
Well,
like,
I feel like the
yeah,
entire point of it was to like beat the shit out of Diavolo, right? I mean,
yeah, but that was
how did the
the whole
characters
point of
win?
it.
How did the
Well, yeah,
characters win?
because
They didn't like trick him and like make him kill himself like Pulpo. They literally went in there and they beat the fuck out of him. So I mean,
yeah, and I'm just saying that like yeah, they were getting ability that was above like stand. They were getting
uh-huh.
Requiem, but that just getting Requiem doesn't just automatically make you above every single
Okay,
stand. That's
you literally
kind of
just
like
told me, yeah, they got an ability above all stands, but doesn't mean they got an ability above all stands. That makes no sense.
no, they got an ability that's like they got an ability that's like different than a stand, right? It's something that a
Wait.
stand
Why different? Why different?
because
We went
it's
from beyond to different.
it's
I'm so
Requiem,
confused. Well,
because like
that's not what the
so you
statements say,
have
dude.
stand, and then you have Requiem, right? Which is true, but why would Requiem just being Requiem be above just
Hold
stands
on.
overall.
I didn't hear what you said in the past like 5 seconds. My earbud fell out, bro. Can you please repeat that?
So my point was like, yes, we have stands and Requiem. Requiem is above stand, but that doesn't mean that just being above it doesn't automatically just mean stronger.
Okay, then what would it
Yes,
mean?
they got an ability
How do
that
you
was
interpret
they had.
it?
It's just an ability that's an above a stand. You got your stand, and then you have Requiem. That's an ability that you get from Requiem and not just stand.
Okay, well, what does above mean then? How do you
like
interpret the word above?
It's like an
It's a what?
because you got your stand, right, and then you have Requiem. Requiem is an ability that's like that you get on top of your stand, because we know that when Requiem, not only did Jonaro's like overall stand ability, like his original stand ability, like the life form and all that, not only was that increased, he also got another ability granted by Requiem.
Yeah,
So that's
exactly,
just
and
how I see it,
that's
is that
the
they got.
ability. That's the ability that
Yeah, but
was
like
above
again,
stands.
like yeah, I get that, but I get that, but that doesn't exactly mean just automatically just being stronger and above every single stand just
Okay,
cause.
I mean, I've failed to see how you've proved your point because I've asked you multiple times to provide like an interpretation as to what being above
Yeah,
stands as
but that's my
described means.
interpretation.
But you haven't listed
Yeah,
one.
but
That's
just
the
like
problem. Like
yeah,
the thing is,
that was,
I get
my
it. I
point was
understand what you're saying. You're saying like you're like I comprehend your words. You're telling me that it doesn't mean that they're stronger. It just means that they're above. But I'm saying it doesn't make any sense because that's literally the same thing, and that's what we see in the fucking manga. So it's like
yeah,
when I'm sitting here, I'm gonna
yeah,
ask
but, okay,
you.
but yeah,
I'm gonna ask
my
you
point
like,
is
hold on, let me
that
finish. I'm gonna ask you like, if you have a different interpretation for what Polnareff says or what's been shown in the series, then I'd like you to give that to me right now, and that's it.
okay, my point was that yes, they have, like I said, stand ability and Requiem. Return to Zero was an ability granted specifically by the Requiem arrow. So and then you have stand. So they're getting an ability that's above a stand. You need something that only Requiem could give you, the ability that it could give you. That was the whole point. Is that just because it's Requiem, just being above, it doesn't mean it's just stronger. It's just that they're looking for an ability that only Requiem can give.
So you're
Because
saying
again,
it's
it
not.
is based.
You're saying that it just means exclusive, not above.
Yeah, because you have
How do you
because Return to
equate
Zero,
that?
yes, it's because again, it's just like you have a normal stand ability and then Requiem. Requiem is a power up from just a normal stand, but that
Okay,
doesn't
so
mean
it
that
makes
it's
it
stronger.
stronger. If it's
It
a
gets a
power
power up.
up, if it's a power
Yeah, it's a
up,
power up,
it's
but yeah,
stronger.
it's a power up. It gets an ability that's above Diavolo, but how do you correlate to every single stand above that? How does
Because
Requiem
I
be above
told you
every
that
single
it's. I told you that it's
just because it's a
stated.
power up?
I told you it's stated. I never said just because it's a power up. I said it's stated that it's beyond stand powers. So like I
Yeah,
don't.
how do you correlate that to being the strongest? How does that being above all
I mean
stand
I don't
powers?
really see any other way that you could interpret that. Like I don't see any other way you could interpret that.
Yeah,
Like you read it and it
my
says
interpretation is
it's
that they
beyond
get an
stand
ability that's
powers. If it's beyond stand powers, and your claim is that it's exclusive, which
yeah.
makes no sense because every stand power is literally exclusive. So like, what? I'm not too sure because like I read it and it says it's beyond stand powers, beyond what already exists. So like,
Okay, yeah,
what? How could
it's
you
above.
interpret that? It's above them, yeah. So it means
Yeah,
it's
it's above, but how
stronger
does how no it how do you know that just being above means stronger?
because
It
this is
doesn't.
above. If it was just exclusive, it would say it's different. It's not. It's above. If something is
Can
above
I say
something
something
else,
here?
yeah, sure.
Saying
You know
Hyype
what? Go
made the
ahead.
claim that it's above in power, not above in like some other like category.
Say that one more time.
He said above in like strength and power, not some other category. So I don't know what he's going on about. Just
What
like
I'm
it's pretty
saying is like,
self-evident.
I mean, look, I'm just gonna restate the main point one more time, and I just want to like make sure you understand this, and is that if you read through part 5, it's extremely consistent here that the Requiem arrow, or not the Requiem because it's literally the normal fucking arrow, but the arrow has the power, and it's stated and shown to grant you a different type of energy or a different type of power that's beyond stance. It gets hyped up the entire part because King Crimson is one of the strongest stand abilities in the series. No one can beat it. It's invincible, right? As described by multiple characters who try to fight him because he has both the future sight with Epitaph and he has a time erasure, so he's practically invincible. And as a result, the only way that they can beat him without getting turned into donuts and, you know, grilled up on a rack is by obtaining a power that's beyond stands. And it's consistent because Polnareff has seen the likes of Dio, who's like an extremely powerful, if not like one of the strongest stand users that we've seen in the series thus far. And he's still like, wow, this is the strongest, like this is like one of the most terrifying, or he says like actually word for word, he says that this is like nothing like I'd ever seen before. Like this is ridiculous. It's invincible. It's crazy. I'm not making the claim that King Crimson is stronger than the world. What I'm saying is that to be able to beat a stand ability that's so high up in the ranks of stand abilities, they have to obtain.
But how is Polnareff a reliable source? He barely fought Dio.
He literally went up against his ability like 100 times. He got teleported by Dio like 100 times. He got teleported by Dio on the stairs.
Yeah, he didn't even know the actual specific things. Dio was literally trolling with him the whole time, and the only time that he actually dealt with the world was just so he got punched and just got knocked out of the fight like instantly.
Exactly. That just proves my point even more. He's going up against a guy who he can stab in the brain, and he just gets freaking decked and thrown through the city and with one punch. And he still sees Diablo's like, wow, this guy's freaking insane, you know? I mean,
yeah,
he already gets I'm not saying I already told you I don't think he's stronger. What I'm saying is that King Crimson's time erasure is an extremely strong ability. Like we already know that. It's known to be.
Star Platinum and Time Stop is already it's just not even a debate. It is just a stronger ability.
I'm not saying that one of them is stronger than the other. I'm just saying, like I don't know if you're arguing like if you're listening to what I'm arguing. I'm saying that
it doesn't
the whole
make any
point,
sense, though.
It makes a lot of sense. The whole point is that there's an extremely strong stand ability which they cannot beat, so they have to use unconventional methods such as getting a Requiem arrow or getting the arrow, whatever, and using it in a different way than how it was intended to create a different type or another type of energy, the Requiem energy, which is beyond stand powers, right? And the entire point of why I'm bringing it up is because we have stands, Star Platinum, for example, and I'm saying that the statement's inconsistent because there's a different ability that exists that is shown to just beat the shit out of time-based abilities and also is narratively implied to be beyond stand powers in general, you know? So, like, I don't understand. And there's much more narrative evidence to the GER stuff rather than the Star Platinum stuff. All the Star Platinum stuff is just a bunch of random, like, one-off characters that Dio hires for, like, $300 getting beat the fuck up by him. Then they're like, wow, this guy's extremely strong. He's really scary. That's literally it.
Yeah. No, like, not only is it... No, it's like, it's not even stated by some random-ass thugs. No, it's, like, literally stated. It's right there by, like, it's, like, author's note.
And I'm saying it's inconsistent by the author's own story. You understand that? You know, I'm not going to take every single author's note as, like, the Bible, you know? Like,
you're literally taking the narrative that doesn't, like, again, and you fail to prove how just being above just means automatically stronger than every other.
You're literally proving my own argument. Like, I'm telling you, there's no other way you could possibly interpret that.
Yeah, I interpret it. It's like, yes, they get an ability that's above a stand, but that doesn't mean that it's automatically stronger than every single stand.
Okay, then what does above mean? I'm asking you for the 5th time. What does above mean?
Again, you have you have stand ability, and then you have Requiem. Yeah, Requiem is a tier. Is like, you know, it's something other than stands, right? It's something that only Requiem can give.
Why other?
Because that's literally
above.
What happens.
It's beyond. That's literally what it said. It's beyond. How does that equate to other?
It's beyond stand ability.
This is going very ad nauseum. Okay, so people in VC, you want to give your opinion on this? Like I've already asked this guy 100 times to prove why his interpretation is like why above means different. Dude. And I'm like, hey, I'm reading the story and it's like, hey, I think like above like consistently means that it's beyond or like above.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
What it means.
Right?
Go ahead.
Isn't Requiem literally described by everybody who's got knowledge of it to be an evolution?
Yeah, but I haven't even gotten into that. I'm just attacking the whole narrative point. This guy's saying that above doesn't mean above. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't think
my point is that just being above doesn't mean just automatically stronger.
Why?
You have to prove to me that. Why? No, that's
why?
You have. No,
do you think it means like no? It's your interpretation. I'm asking you to explain it. Do you think that like above means like I'm physically above you? Like I'm literally above your head right now? Is that what they're
No,
meaning
and
by
yeah,
that?
again, above just means they're granted an ability that's above other stands, but it
Okay,
doesn't
great.
mean
Now we
that they're
agree.
automatically
Oh my
stronger.
god. Why do
Okay,
you not
Like
just make a
why?
statement where like
like
the
I
ability
I
says you
agree
got
I agree with your statement. They got an ability that's an above other stands. You could only get that ability throughout Requiem because Requiem is it's you got because again you have stands and Requiem.
Hmm.
Return to Zero was a ability granted specifically by Requiem. But again, how does
Okay, and
just
it's
being
above
Requiem?
stand
How does that
powers.
just
I'm not saying it's
automatically?
being Requiem. I
Yeah,
never
but
said that.
that doesn't mean
I
it's
said it's
stronger.
stated to be
But
above
like that doesn't.
stand powers. If okay, I'm gonna say it for you one last
Yeah,
time.
and again,
If
it is
there's an ability, and I told you this like 100 times already, if there is an ability that is just different from other stand, which is literally every stand ability ever is different from each other. If there is a different stand ability, there is no way in God's name that anyone would call it above stand powers. Like that's not like that can't possibly happen. Like it would just be classified as
yeah,
something
no, because
different,
that's literally
right?
what happened.
That's not what happens. You're
Well,
interpreting these
no.
statements that are given
Well,
to
yeah,
you by the characters in a different way than what they're actually intended to be. I'm telling you that there's no way that you could
no.
ever interpret above as different, because if it was truly just a different
I don't know.
ability,
You guys are just gonna keep going over the same
that's
topic.
exactly what I'm
Like,
saying. So you know what?
you said
How
this like
about
5
this?
times.
Exactly. So I'm going to tell you this, okay? Forget all the narrative bullshit. There are countless statements in the data books that say that it's the ultimate ability and like a crazy broken ass ability.
Same,
So
same
like
with Star Platinum. Star Platinum also has been stated to be
not
the ultimate
nearly
ability,
as many,
so.
not nearly as many, and all the statements in question are
Okay, so
violated by the
saying
story.
it more than once just means
So
no.
I'm
Wait,
not
so you're
saying
saying there's
that.
a contradiction in like the author's statement?
I'm
It's,
saying
it doesn't
that.
matter how many times Requiem has been stated to be ultimate. Star Platinum has also been stated to be ultimate ability. So
Okay,
that
and I'm
argument
telling
doesn't make
you
any sense.
that
It
Star
doesn't matter.
Platinum being the ultimate ability is inconsistent with the nature of the story. I told you that
No,
already.
it's
This is the
not.
whole point of the argument. I just think you're having
No,
trouble understanding
it
it. Like
has.
this is okay. You know what? Look, I don't want to go ad nauseum forever on this topic. This is being recorded, right? I'm gonna post this wherever I need to post it. But
Okay.
the two people up in VC, right? I mean, Kronos hasn't been here for the longest, but Griff has been here the entire fucking time, right? What do you think of this argument?
Hi.
What do you think? You want to tell me your opinion? Because I don't want to keep
said
on
my
going
name.
with this point
So like,
forever. Go ahead.
you've probably proved your point already.
Okay.
He said my
Great.
name.
It seems to me weird that he's gonna say that, or that he's gonna like use the author's like statements when he knows these can be like contradicted.
I
He
mean,
just verbatim said that statements like say two things. So it seems to me that your narrative is gonna be like more the case here. Just overall with this like argumentation and your argumentation, you definitely won this point. This
I
is just
mean,
ad nauseam.
What he said.
because the entire point is the fact that there's no other, and what I think you're doing right now is I think that you're being disingenuous with the fact that you literally cannot interpret this statement any other way. Doing so has no support like in any way. And if you want to support it, you can go ahead, but you haven't done so at all. So I would like to hear, I mean, for the last time, I'm not going to go on with this point one more time, but for the last time, if you want to support your interpretation of why above means something else rather than above, I'd love to hear what you have to say. And don't say the same
Oh,
thing again.
okay, but
Support
yeah.
it, please. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, so again, like my interpretation is that yes, it's an ability above the other stance. It's something that Requiem only Requiem could give, a power only Requiem could give you, right?
How?
And it's true
How does that
because
correlate?
it's been stated, like
How does that correlate?
because
How does that
because they
correlate?
got because that was the whole point of Requiem is to give you a power that only Requiem can give you. It's an
Okay, and
above
how does
other
that mean it's
stance. You got
above? How does
stance.
that mean it's above? Like, look, I told you that these things, like, it being a different stand ability is true, right? And we know that it's a different kind of energy, but how does that make it above? That's the thing. If it was just different, it'd just be different, but it's above. So how can you
Yeah,
interpret
'cause you
above in any other way than stronger? It makes no sense. Why would
'cause you
Araki?
have
Why would a Hirohiko Araki use the term above in any other fashion? Why would he need to use that if it was just
because
different?
you have stand abilities and then you have Requiem. Requiem is a second part. You can't. We
Okay,
don't
so
know.
how is that above?
We don't-
How does that necessitate it being above?
Okay,
That's
bro,
what I'm
okay,
asking,
okay. So
dude.
again, let me explain. So you have stand abilities and Requiem. We don't know if you could use the Requiem arrow if you're not a stand user. So we could only assume that
It's the same arrow.
it's just the most likely. We could just most likely say that for you to get Requiem, you have it's an evolution of your stand because we know if you get stabbed by the stand arrow twice, you just die. You don't get it. So we know that Requiem is like no, that's literally what happens. If you get stabbed,
It's the same
'cause,
stand. It's the same arrow. It's the same arrow.
yeah,
So no, it's the
as a
same
normal
arrow.
as a normal stand arrow.
It's the normal stand arrow. That's literally what it is. It's the normal
No,
stand
no,
arrow.
it's not.
Yes, it is. It's confirmed
It's
as a normal stand arrow. If you want to see the pointer of statements about him saying that there's a different way to use the arrow, I'll go ahead and send it to you. There was a recent page that was published in the most recent JoJo magazine that talks about it being the same arrow. I can give that to you as well. It's the same arrow, right? I mean, it being a different arrow is only supported by the fact that it has a different design, which is fine because they were carved into arrows. There can be different designs. I don't care about that. What I'm saying is it's the same arrow, and the Requiem energy is just a different way to use the same arrow. I can give that to you if you want. I can show that to you.
Okay, like you could give it to me, but like I actually want
do it
that.
right
But
now.
like my point
Sure.
was like because like we know it's like something. My point was like we know it's something different because like let's say literally the first one of the first fights in the series is that whatever the fuck the you know the guy the shadow stand whatever you
Magician's
know
Red?
it yeah like no like
Satan.
in part
Satan.
5.
Oh, Black.
Oh, wait. Black Sabbath.
Yeah, Black
Sorry,
Sabbath.
yep.
Because that's the whole point is that it gives you a stand ability. It uses the arrow, like it uses the shadows to like give you a stand ability with the
Yeah.
arrow. And we see that like when Dronero was stabbed with the stand arrow, it wasn't granting him another ability. It was straight up just killing him.
Well, wait, when did it stop Jordan? I don't think it was
but okay,
killing
I don't
him.
honestly don't even know why we're talking about this. This was really.
I don't know. I'm just saying there's only one arrow, but whatever. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure it was.
There's one arrow, and I'll show
Okay,
you
Evan,
when.
anyway. But like again,
There's like
Okay.
5.
Doesn't really matter. I think we're going off topic, dude. To be honest, I don't think it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter if there's one or
Yeah,
two
I
or
know.
5, right? But
yeah, it really does. That's what I said. But
Okay.
okay, but my point was that like so you have stands, right? Evan, you
Right.
have Requiem. Requiem is
Right.
above stands, yes, but it's
Okay.
because Requiem is an evolution of
Ooh,
the
God.
already stand. Because
Okay.
you had Golden Experience and then Golden Experience Requiem. Because
Great.
Requiem, what it did massively increase the power of his already given stand.
yes.
So we can assume, like, my interpretation is that, like, Requiem is just, like, a power-up of your other stand. But just because
Yes,
it's a power-up
kind of.
doesn't automatically make you a stronger stand above all out.
Well, it's
So
not
if- let's
just
say-
a
let's say
power
this,
up. We know that, right? It's not
let's say-
just a power up. Like we can agree on that, right? It's not. I mean, it's
Yeah, and
part of it is
gives
a power up.
Yeah, and then it also gives you another ability, right?
Yeah, because
And
it,
then,
it has,
but, like,
it has an energy that
my idea
dominates
is that
souls.
like
Yeah.
this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this. It's like and my idea is that it doesn't automatically make you above all other stands. It just means that like you get you just get a stronger ability. It doesn't just automatically make it
Okay.
above every single stand.
So-
because like think of it like this. Think of it like this. Like
Okay.
let's say you have your stand power is 10, right?
Right.
My stand power is 2. And then I use the
Right.
Requiem arrow, and then we'll say that the stand or the Requiem increases your stand power times 3.
Mm-hmm.
So then my stand power would be 6, and then we'll just say plus the Requiem ability, it will give me
Mm-hmm.
an extra plus 2 stand power. So then it would be 8. But that just because I got the Requiem arrow, all it did was just increase my power along with another ability. It doesn't like actually.
I don't agree with that
equal to-
analogy. I don't agree with that analogy at all.
And
The
like,
reason why I don't agree with it is that I understand the part where you're saying it gives you a power up, and it 100% does. But you can't just be like, hey, here's the Requiem ability plus 2 power. That's not how it works. It's consistent.
that's literally
it's
that
consistent.
is how it happens.
It's consistent how the Requiem energy is different from the other energy of stance.
Okay, but
Right.
how does that just correlate to just being above and just automatically?
Because I'm
stronger than
saying that
everything
I'm saying that GER is a stand that is stated continuously in a lot of different places to just be incomparable to stands, right? So I feel like the Requiem energy, and it's
Because it is-
shown
this is a
in the
different
narrative
ability, yeah.
for it to be this way. What I'm saying is like, look, and at the same time, if the main thing that we're discussing here is how it gets stronger, right? And I'm saying that the term that they use in the series is the term above, quote unquote, then there's no other way to refer to it, right? That's what I'm saying. So
Well, no.
hold
but,
on,
like,
give me
it
one
just-
second.
it just
Give me 2 seconds. I gotta handle something. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah. Like,
No, Leo, yeah.
So, what are you
Have you
arguing? That like
understood
Johto is above GR?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I just my whole point is that just because Requiem is a different ability, like it's Requiem, it doesn't just automatically mean it's stronger. yes, it has another ability, and it did give it a stronger ability that was enough to defeat the Diavolo. But how could you
Okay, I'm
say,
back.
hey, it's just because it's Requiem,
I'm
it's
not gonna
stronger
lie.
than every other
Hype
stand?
is just
Okay.
gonna keep knowledge cliffing.
So look, I'm gonna tell you this. Okay. Look, I understand your point. I understand what you're trying to say, but I'm gonna tell you why it's not true. Okay.
Go ahead.
Holy shit, there's a big ass argument going on right now. Just give me 1 second, but I'll speak through it. Anyways, I'm on vacation, but regardless, here's what I'm trying to say.
During a vacation, that's rough.
Huh?
Argument like arguing over like during vacation, that's rough.
Dude, I literally just
Yeah.
I just got to the house and it's pretty late right now, so I was like, why not just finish this off with like a quick
Right.
debate, no biggie. But okay, it's gonna be hilarious in the recording.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm gonna tell you this, and I understand what you're saying, but this is I'm gonna tell you why it's wrong. So the reason why I think it's incorrect and why it's shown to be incorrect in the series is because not only is it just different, right? Like there is an indication of difference between Requiem energy and stand abilities, and that's fine. But the thing is that your interpretation of this fails to really make sense because of the fact that there are tons and tons and tons of statements in both data books and in the narrative, in terms of like when it's narratively implied, that this stand is incomparable to other stands. And whenever it comes down to what you were talking about, it being different and it being something else, my response is like, dude, like it is, but it doesn't mean that it can't be stronger. And the evidence for it being stronger is there because there's no other way to use the term above. If I have two different categories of something, there is only one point in time where I have to say that it's one of them, or category A is above category B, or category B is below category A, right? If there were just two different coexisting categories, there's no need for me as the author to denote like a difference in power or strength using the word above. The only time where I need to do that is if a certain energy or a certain category, whatever the fuck it is that we're referred to now, is stronger than the other category. Right? So the thing is, I get what you're saying, but you're missing out a major part of the story, right? And the reason why I brought up the entire Diavolo stuff in the first place is because the reason why they had to use the arrow and beat Diavolo is because the arrow had the power to unlock something stronger than existing stands because of the fact that Diavolo's ability is described to be invincible. There's no other way that they could beat it. There's countless abilities. If I'm in a mafia and my boss is like this like super secretive guy who has like a very mysterious ability, and every guy who's ever tried to go against him, who's just like a bunch of stand users with a ton of different abilities, have failed because the guy can literally see the future. He knows what you're gonna do, and he just fucking cooks you, right? And on top of that, the time-based abilities in JoJo's are stated by Araki to be the most invincible, right? So it's already the top of the top of the top. Yeah, they are. They're at the top of the verse, right? It's fucking crazy, right? If I had to argue which one's stronger, Star Platinum and King Crimson in terms of their abilities, I don't really know. I don't really care. But the point is, it's consistently insanely powerful. So Polnareff is
We're
like,
still
dude.
friends though, right?
But what's up? Say that again?
We're still friends though, right?
Say that one more time.
We're still friends though, right?
Oh, yes, we're still friends, dude. Anyways, what I'm saying is that this is why Polnareff is sitting on a radio channel for like 30 years, and because he got pieced up he got fucked by Diavolo, and he's searching for these people who have the potential to use the arrow. And he's like, dude, this ability is fucking crazy, and I have to have some people who have the potential to unlock a power beyond stands so we can beat it. If it was just different, then it wouldn't really make sense with anything that's ever happened in the story at all. It would have to be stronger. There's no other way to ever interpret it. Not only one, would we never use the word above or beyond, and two, we would never have to use the arrow in that way to beat Diavolo in the first place. Because sometime in the history of Diavolo killing a bunch of Italian guys, some guy with an ability would come up that would counter it and fucking destroy him, right? But no, it never did.
You tell
right?
me.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like it
never did, but it is.
There's an insurmountable quantity of narrative evidence, data book evidence, author statements, and whatever the fuck Araki has made about his series that proves that this is a consistently stronger and more powerful stand energy or ability than the regular cast of stands.
Yeah, you're lagging.
Is he lagging? Oh, okay.
Am I lagging still?
No, you're good now.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear what I said in the past like 5 seconds?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I
Yeah, exactly. So do you wanna tell me what you have to say about that, please?
No, that's a pretty good argument. But okay. But the thing that doesn't really like is it's not 100% definitive is that like yes, nobody has gotten like, even close to Diavolo in terms of power.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just because, it's like there's only a select few people in the whole series that have time related abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Jotaro was, stated to be the most invincible, it literally like before during the fight, like literally during the fight, literally like a few chapters before he ultimately gets defeated, was
Mm-hmm.
stated, "Hey, this is the most invincible, most powerful stand ability." Yet, with enough planning, I mean, I guess you could argue it was against Jolene, but like the whole idea was that like yes, it was defeated, and then also in part six, when again, Jotaro, invincible stand ability. You can't, it's like invincible. But then
Mm-hmm.
Made in Heaven shows it rolls around and also just ultimately just destroys it. So the
Mm-hmm.
idea that like one stand ability is just like straight up invincible, you can't touch it, is not true. There is other methods. Like Poochie, literally the whole arc was shown that like you can counter extremely busted abilities with just the right enough planning.
Yeah, I never claimed that. I never claimed otherwise. I agree with that. What I'm saying is that the reason why they got the arrow is because they couldn't like do anything about his ability. I'm not saying that there's no possible way to beat Diablo's ability because that's what the characters say, yada yada yada. No, of course there could come along a character one day that could piece him up just because of their ability. That's fine. I don't have any problem with that. But the thing is, it's not what the characters do. The characters get the arrow and they use the ability of the arrow to unlock a power beyond stance as stated in order to counter him. I can counter him in 30 different ways if I wanted to, right? So what I'm saying is like instead of just finding some random person, and this is what Polnareff did, his strategy was instead of just finding some random person who just had like a powerful ass ability, he was convinced that no one could beat it. So he was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna just sit on this radio line for a bunch of like crazy, crazy, crazy amount of time, and I'm about to try to find somebody who I think has the power to unlock this potential of like a power beyond stance, right? That's the only way that he thought he could defeat it. So it doesn't matter if someone can come along and defeat him with a powerful enough ability. I'm saying that in the story, this is not what's shown. It's shown to be a lot different, right? So that's the thing I'm arguing here. That's what doesn't make sense. I think it's consistently stronger, right? I mean, I'm not even really got like diving into the data books at all. I'm not even touching those, right? I'm literally just only using the narrative right now. And if I like put the data books in here, there's even more evidence, right? So it's like, and when we evaluate statements, and I'm sure that you can agree with this, is that if we find a statement one day that says something like Star Platinum is the strongest stand ability, or Magician's Dread is the strongest stand ability, or yada yada yada, or whatever, right? We compare it with the logic of the story, because it's no way that Araki can come along one day and say that Sex Pistols is the strongest stand in history, you know? And there are some guys out there that would believe it, you know, because it's Araki and Araki's God, right? Araki doesn't really know what he's doing, like, sometimes, right? I'm gonna say that, but the thing is, like, we can't just always take any statement for granted. That's my main problem with these Star Platinum statements, is because they ignore the logic of the story, right? They never ever go
Sorry,
along
you're
with.
lagging out again. Or
Okay,
is that
can you
just
can
me?
you hear me now? Because I
Wait,
think I'm fine.
wait, hold on, wait, hold on.
Am I
Wait,
okay?
pause. Uh, okay, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
I
you're
don't know if
okay.
it's you or me, but I lagged out for like the past 15
Okay, that's
seconds. Could
okay.
you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. So what I was saying was that, look, Araki makes a lot of statements, and he has. I've read almost all of his interviews. He makes a lot of statements about a bunch of random shit, right? The thing is, Araki, even though he's made the series and he has some sort of dominion over what he makes, is pretty much just like us, okay? He's not really any different from me or you or Griff or whoever, right? What I'm saying is that there are statements that come out, some that are informational and some that are just for fun, right? These informational statements, like the Star Platinum one that you just sent me, or the data book ones, which are purely informational, right? Except for like the little itty bitty, like whatever fucking bullshit parts, right? What I'm saying is that whenever there's a statement that's made, we can't just take it for granted and ignore everything else that's ever been said, right? That's a lot of the that's one problem that a lot of people do to this day is like they'll see an author statement, they ride the fuck out of it without like ever considering what it means. So my problem is that, yeah, Star Platinum can be stated like once in part 6 to have the strongest stand ability or the strongest known stand ability. I think it's actually twice, but regardless, I don't think it really matters because it just violates the logic of the story. I think that Araki has written a stronger stand ability narratively, right? Consistently, and narratively has written a stronger stand ability. I'm not going to just sit here and read this and be like, oh, wallahi, it's the strongest stand ability now. You know what I'm saying? Like, people do that. I don't like that they do that, but, you know, it's like, I can't accept that without comparing it with what the author wrote, right? And that's the entire argument I'm giving you, is I'm comparing it with what the author wrote hundreds of times in both the series that GR is in, Giorno is in, and the data books, right? I don't think it really makes any sense here. We haven't even gotten into the speed points yet. I don't really care. I think that it's narratively consistent, and I've shown so, I've like told you so, we've argued so, that GR has an ability that's stronger narratively, you know?
Yo, you guys are just going in circles, bro.
That's
Like,
exactly
literally
what I'm
lock this
saying.
shit down.
That's what I'm saying. So do you wanna conclude this point? Maybe we can move on to some other points.
Yeah, sure.
know?
We can move on.
Okay.
I
Sure.
concede on that point.
Okay,
Yay.
sure. So what I'm gonna tell you is, let's go to the other point we're talking about. Speed, strength, right? In my opinion, is that Star Platinum does not come anywhere close to GR when it comes to speed or strength. I think that Star Platinum
How so?
would get cooked. I think it's stated. I think it's definitely stated that he is like, if there's a statement, look, and I'm going to tell you this, right? I think that, first of all, Star Platinum is definitely not the fastest and strongest, right? There are stands that are faster and stronger, right? But the second thing is that there's a statement for GR that says that his stats are incomparable to any other stand. Like, it's just, they're so far above and they're incomparable. Am I cutting out still?
Well, yeah, no, I heard you.
Okay, cool.
But like, so the null stats, right?
Yeah.
How I see it is it's just comparing it to like, it's just comparing it to, like its ability,
Why
That's
is
how
that?
I see it.
I mean, it's a stat system that measures your
because-
physical strength, right? Why would it be using the
No,
ability?
it also does it can take ability into consideration.
Why would
Like
it now?
a lot basically it always has. Like like almost all stand stats include the overall stand strength along with its ability, right?
Well, what I'm saying
And
is like that's not consistently true. You know, I feel like that only really matters.
It is
that
very
only
consistently
that.
true.
But what I'm saying is like I know that happens. But what I'm saying is I think that's only in relation to stands that have some sort of strength or speed or whatever the fuck they calculate with the stand stats tied to their stand. I don't think that GR really has any of those. I don't think that GR is one of those stands like Made in Heaven that's speed is tied to its ability. You know, I feel like it has like independent speed, strength, precision, whatever outside of its ability. So there's no need to really replace a stat with something else because of its ability. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so then so it is pretty consistent that abilities also are included in the stand stats, and and it would actually make sense that it's talking about the ability, because just like you said later, Requiem gives the Requiem gives an ability that's above like other stand stats, so it would only make sense that like you can't compare it because it's something completely different, so that's why
Okay,
it's null and stands.
you already
because it's just
conceded this point,
not
dude.
something
It's
you can
stronger.
really compare because
It's stronger. We already talked about this. It's stronger. There's no need to discuss.
yeah,
it.
I
It's
know
not
that's
different.
that's what I said.
It's stronger, right? What I'm
I
saying.
know. I just said. I
What
just
you
said
said.
that.
You said incomparable.
No, but like
it's on
no,
recording.
Evan.
But what I'm saying to you is that
No, my point was like, yeah, you literally stated that it's an above stand ability. So like
Yeah,
the stand
sure.
stats, like yeah, you can't compare it because it's just
so they're
something
above stand
it's
ability.
just-
They're above all the other stand stats. Yeah, sure. That's fine.
No, but like if you've taken consideration the ability, like if it's scaling the ability, it makes much more sense.
That's not.
'Cause
It's
then, like,
not just scaling the ability. We know it doesn't just scale the ability. It scales the speed and strength of the character as well.
How so?
Diavolo states so. The data book states so. Like both Envelope and Agogo say the same fucking thing about it being.
Yeah, the ability, not like
No,
the
the
strength. and
physical.
speed itself.
The physical strength. I will literally send you it right now. They say along with the ability in both data books, the physical strength and speed has both increased. I'll send this to you right now.
Yeah, it has increased, but does that automatically just mean it's stronger than Star Platinum?
I mean,
Just because
I'm not
it
gonna
said
say
it got
I'm not
that.
gonna just use that one statement where it increased. I'm saying I'm using a statement where it's incomparable to any other stand. He has none for everything. You know, I usually pair the two and be like, hey, like this is in context. It means it is above. But let me send you the statement. Like it's. I'm surprised you don't know this. Like it's actually in both data books. Where is it?
Well, no, I know it, but like I know it because it makes sense if you take in consideration that it's only talking about the ability and not just the,
Which
not
one do
just
you
the
want?
strength.
I don't. I mean, I have both. I have
Just send both. Just send both.
Go-Go and Valor. Okay, you'd have to translate yourself because I'm not gonna go through the motions and
Oh.
translating it because I'm literally in like the most weird position right now. I don't really want to move. Hold on. Where's the copy text? Perfect. Should be somewhere in the middle of this paragraph. I think it is the middle paragraph, actually. Let me drop this in here. This is the one from Go. Oh my god, I don't know why I copied a fucking timestamp. Dumbass me, I pressed copy text. Where's copy image, bruh? Copy image. Perfect. Okay. Where is tier list? There we go. All right, so here's the one from Go. And do I have the one from Veller? Yes, I do. I think I do. Yes, I do. Okay. Oh, I said copy link like an idiot. Oh, whose phone is going off in the background? Okay, and this one is like talks about it in general, but also like the big red text in the on the right side, it says that. Like, so that's like what the big red text says. So yeah, I mean, I think it's extremely consistent. Well, yeah, I do think it is consistent. 13 years apart, dude. Same thing. I don't know, man.
Yep.
I feel like it is. I feel like it is.
Okay, but then how? But like again, like it doesn't explain how it will just have null or like it has none in like all the stats.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like Araki wrote it and was like, dude, like there's no way I can get this guy A for everything. It just wouldn't make it powerful enough. So I gotta say none.
No,
I gotta write about it.
Sense.
No, because
and
like
if you take,
I gotta write about it and I gotta be like, yo, like he's incomparable.
Yeah, even if you take into consideration. Wait. You're lagging out.
I'm waiting.
Wait, or am I?
I'm waiting.
I'm lagging.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay. So
up,
yeah.
Yep.
Continue what you're gonna say.
Okay, what I'm saying is like, dude, when Araki made the stand, right? He's like, dude, okay, stated a couple times in the series that he had some power-ups. Okay, cool, physical strength, whatever, cool. And I'm going to write it in the data books too. Okay, cool, because I want the readers to know this, right? Cool. But then he's like, all right, how strong is he, right? So then I don't even know why I forgot about this. I'll include this too. But he says, all right, so I have a stand and has none. Why? Because it's incomparable to every other stand and has an attack power that surpasses that of existing stands, right? Which is stated, by the way. I can give that to you too in the same fucking data book on the same page. But what I'm saying is like, if he put this is like, I'm saying this is like, I mean, this is the most probable reason. I'm not gonna say this is what Araki was thinking, but this is what I would think at least, is that, like, I mean, he can't just give him A for everything, right? Like, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, we have to get this guy something higher, you know? He could, but what I'm saying is like he didn't, and he explained why. Like there's a reason. Like I don't have to. I'm not using this like little thing as an argument. I'm saying that like this is literally the case. But what I'm saying is like if I was Araki, I'd do this because, But the point is that he has an attack power that surpasses all existing stands. He's none because he's incomparable to all other stands, and he has the physical stuff that you asked for, whatever. So what I'm saying is like it's stated, right? It's flat out, blatantly stated in the data books. So like I don't have any reason to believe why it wouldn't be.
It was given. Okay, then, but like, okay, so my interpretation of the whole destructive force and all that being none is because it's again, if you're taking in consideration the stand ability, right? Not only would it be not only would the stand ability not be comparable to other stands, like you explained, so it would make sense that like, oh hey, I can't compare it because it's not comparable to like stands. But then again, if you take consideration the stand ability. What does Requiem Return to Zero do? Does it have any destructive force? No, it doesn't. Does it have any speed? No, it's basically instant.
Mm-hmm.
What about the range? It has no range because it's also infinite. Like it's automatic. It has no growth because it's Requiem. Does it have precision? No, because it's So it just makes a lot more sense.
Does Time Erase have any of those qualifications? Does Time Stop have any of those qualifications? Does Time Stop have a strength? Does it have a speed? Does
no, because
during
the data books it does actually talk about the strength and all that, so it would make sense because again with
it says that it has like a physical strength.
Yeah, Evan, it says in the
I would
look at Star
love,
like
I would love to see
yeah,
that.
the scan that I talked about, the scan that I sent earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about its amazing strength and speed along with its ability. It
Okay,
says
so it's not the
ability
ability then,
can
dude.
move. Yeah, but like no, but like it's taking when it's explaining the stand, it's also taking in consideration its strength and speed.
Yeah,
So it
exactly,
can
exactly.
but when you look at Requiem, it doesn't talk about its increased power or anything like
I
that.
literally just
It's
sent
just
both of those
talking
things to you.
specifically.
I sent both those things to you. What do you mean it doesn't talk about it? I just sent both those paragraphs to you in the data books. Did you translate them? They're 13 years
Yeah, the
apart in
data
different
book.
data
But
books.
how does that correlate to like the whole the destruct? How does that correlate directly to
It
the
says that
whole
his speed and strength
destructible?
increases. What do you mean? How does it
Yeah,
correlate to that?
it increases, but it doesn't say that its strength and speed is so far above all other stands.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't say
have
that.
to. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. They can both be
But
true.
but
They can both be
But
true.
like
What's the problem with the?
it could also be wrong. But the burden, but it's I need you to prove me that without a doubt, this statement is talking specifically. It also talks with its strength and speed, but when it does talk about its strength and speed, it doesn't say that it's above all of our stands. It's like comparable. No, it just says it gets a power boost, and it would
That's
make
not what
sense
I
because
claim to be. That like I don't
yeah,
think you're
yeah
under.
you
You're not getting my argument. I said that this is what's like. First of all, you asked me for these statements when I mentioned them. What
yeah
I'm saying is that the statement that I'm using for it to be above every other stand is where it states about the physical stat measuring system that measures the physical capabilities that it's incomparable to any other stand. And there's another statement that says that his attack power is above any existing stand, right? So I mean, what else could we interpret it as? Like, is there a different kind of strength that just can't be compared? No, that such thing doesn't exist. Strength is
wait
strength.
where does it say that it's where does it say that its strength is not
Jojo
comparable to
Agogo.
other
It says it
stands?
in Jojo Agogo. Jojo Agogo says it. I'll send it to you right now. Well, I gotta
Okay,
find it, but
does it say
sure.
it's I don't have any translations.
Sure. I mean, I got a. I don't know if you know Morgan Stedman's. He does all the spin-off translations for JoJo Wiki and other stuff. He works for JoJo Wiki. I messaged him like a couple years ago and I got him to translate it. But if you want, I can use that. I don't really like using the DeepL stuff that much because, I mean, it's fine for the most part. But I actually use ChatGPT for this part for most parts. Hold on. Is this the one? Oh, there we go. Let me go ahead and copy this for you. This is the exact message that he sent me. I just copy and pasted it. So this is the translation for like the full JoJo Go pages. I think both of them. There's two. There's one with the stand on it, and there's the other one with the information. So it says in the first paragraph, says that its attack power far exceeds any stand thus far, making it the ultimate stand. Yada yada yada. Right. So it's like, I mean, it makes sense. Like you would agree with me, right? It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I can't see this any other way. It exceeds any
Yeah.
existing stand, and on top of that, there's a statement where it says that
Yeah,
its stats
in
are incomparable. Its strength, like its physical statistics, are incomparable to any other stand, right? So this is what it must mean in context.
yeah,
Like, what else would it be?
no, it says the ability of Requiem, not its strength and speed. It only says its ability is excluded from
First
the
paragraph.
stats of its strength.
You're reading the wrong place.
Okay,
Its attack
holds
power far exceeds any stand thus far, making it the ultimate stand. Did you read that? It's the first paragraph.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm adding context to the statement at the bottom, which, I mean, for most people, they can understand it because it talks about their physical statistics, right? But if you want to add context to it, the first paragraph is right there for you to read and have fun and, frolic in a field around. You know what I'm saying? It's
Making
right
it
there.
the ultimate stand.
Exactly.
Okay, but then
Boom.
but also Star Platinum has also been stated to be the ultimate stand.
I don't give
so
a
why would-
fuck what it stated. We already, bro, you conceded this point. It's inconsistent with the narrative. It's inconsistent. Doesn't make any fucking sense. I already
But it
told you
isn't.
that. Okay,
but it isn't. No,
Do you
I
do
just
you?
need to-
But so do you like did you actually not concede and you were trying to trick me or
No,
what?
I did. No, I did. No, I conceded. I conceded on the fact that the ability was stronger, just not the whole, strength and speed. We're talking
Dude, that
about the
entire
strength.
point was how the fucking statement doesn't make any sense. Because if you take that statement into account, then look, I agree with you. The point was in the statement. That's fine. But the reason why we started it in this is the first words I said. It's on recording, is it's inconsistent with the logic and of the story, right? So if we concede on the fact that the Requiem ability is stronger than Star Platinum's ability, then there's no way the statements make any fucking sense. So you can't do
No,
that.
it
You
would
can't
very
make. You
much
can't
make
make.
sense.
Okay, so do you care to tell me, or do you care to explain how two stands can be the strongest stand, or one stand can be the strongest than another stand, or one stand can be the strongest over all other stands, and then another stand can come up and just also be stronger than that stand? That makes no fucking sense. Like when it talks about the same
Well,
stand.
okay, yeah. If it talks, yeah, it talks about the like. If you take into consideration, I conceded on the fact that Requiem, the ability was like stronger than Time Stop. Yes,
Right.
I
So that's
conceded
that's
on
what
that.
the statement that
But
you
if
sent me
yeah,
says. That's literally what it says. So why are you taking into
okay,
account?
yeah.
That makes
Then
no sense.
yeah, I know. I'm talking about no. And then we're done talking about that. We're talking about the whole strength and speed argument.
Okay. So you're gonna take the
Okay,
strength and
Evan.
speed argument, right? You're gonna say it's stronger and
Yeah.
faster than I understand. Where is that stated, man? You wanna give it to me? Part
What
4, right?
you talking
Part
about
4?
Requiem?
Yes, I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about Star
Yeah.
Platinum. Where is it stated to be the strongest, fastest stand? Part 4, right? That's what you
Oh,
told me. Part 4.
I have to. It's in like the data book. Hold on. I know there was like it was like in the data book. It was like unrivaled strength and whatever. Hold on. I got.
Okay, I mean, the same data book is a stand that's above the fucking stat system. So I don't know, like, which one do you want to take? But I mean, give me the statement first. I don't really care about it. Like,
Yeah, I know.
just
Yeah.
give me the statement.
I'll find it for you real quick. Just give me a second.
Bless.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Bless. Why do I have 3 OBSs at the same time? I'm a fucking idiot. Oh my god, my liver hurts. Gotta stop eating so much chocolate and being 300 pounds. Just kidding, I'm ripped and handsome. It's a shame nobody wants to spec a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure debate. This is the best topic in existence. It's the best.
What the fuck? Why isn't?
What are you looking for? I
I was looking for like the
might
data
have
book
it.
of the Star Platinum data book.
Is it the
Or
one?
JoJo.
Is JoJo a go-go, right? That's one.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
says that it's
that's what I
the
was
most invincible stand ability. It doesn't say he's the strongest. I think. I really want to confirm that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I
says
literally
it's
can't. I
this
can
is the most. That's what because I know that there's one. No, that's in part 6. Sorry, it's just in the visitor chapter thing. But yeah, I don't know. If you can find that, that'd be great. But even still, I don't agree with it. But I just want to see what it says. Oh my gosh, my liver.
Okay, well, I can't find it, so I can't really prove.
Okay,
my
that's
point,
fine.
so
Well,
fuck.
I mean,
Anyway.
if I find it, I'll find it later. But the point is, like, we were on a different point regardless. What I'm saying is, like,
Yeah.
dude, like, if its attack power exceeds any stand thus far, and there's a statement about its physical stats where it says that it's incomparable to any other stand, it leads me, the viewer, to believe that it's just stronger. I don't think that you can really interpret it any other way. There's one that directly states it's stronger, and one where it's like it's fucking incomparable. Like that's what I'm saying. So you get it, right? Like you understand what I'm saying? Like this is how like
Okay, but it doesn't say its strength. It only says its ability is above like its
attack
incomparable to other
power
stands.
far exceeds. And if you translate the, and I've done, bro, I promise you, I've done all the
its
legwork.
attack power far
I've
exceeds.
done all the legwork for this, and I'm only using that attack power thing for context. I've done all the legwork. You can take that little kanji for abilities, and it is. First of all, I asked the translator for this, and I did my own research. It talks about its stats. First of all, I'll give you 3 reasons why. 1, it's in relation to its physical statistics, right? 2, the kanji itself, because it's about the stat system that measures physical abilities, physical stats. That's the point of the stat system.
It also includes abilities.
Okay,
And
but
then I
not
explained
not
how,
in this
like,
case. Not in this case. It would not in this
No,
case
but, like-
because every
Well, yeah, it would
every
make sense.
criteria. No, it would not because every single criteria for a stand to have a stat that's measured or influenced by its ability is where it takes precedence over the stat. So, for example, I made the example with Made in Heaven. I was like, hey, if I'm Made in Heaven and my speed is from my stand's ability, then yeah, it's going to be replaced by whatever the fuck my stand's ability is, right? It's going to be influenced by the stand's ability. If my range is influenced by my stand's ability, then I'll fucking do that too, right? But if we have a stand who's just a fucking power puncher like Star Platinum, then it has an ability like Time Stop, which, has some things here and there. Like in the case of GR, there's nothing that the ability does that takes precedence over its physical statistics. Every single statistic that it has can function by itself with no RTZ whatsoever, right? So my point is that you can't apply that same logic like you would to like Notorious B.I.G. or Made in Heaven or Burn Down the House, because you made the example with like it having none because if its ability doesn't have any single speed or strength or whatever the fuck. And I'm telling you that 99% of the stands in JoJo's don't have physical stat-based abilities. They don't. They all have random bullshit, right? And the reason why they have stat, like a strength stat, is because it's measured by how hard they punch. And if it has a speed stat, then it's measured by how hard it can move or how fast it can move and how fast it can react, so on and so forth. If there's an ability that stand has that takes precedence over that speed or strength or whatever the fuck, then I have no problem with it being influenced by the ability. But the thing here is that that's not the case with the stand. And that's why I'm saying that yes, it's possible that can happen with the stat system in its entirety, but it can't be possible with the stand. It just can't work. It can't work. And that's why I get the statement and I read it in context, and it looks like to me that it's just incomparable to any other stand, and it's just stronger. And I even asked the translator, who I literally don't have really any connection with. I don't want you to give me some I'm paying this guy allegations. I didn't even pay him. He did it for free. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He's gonna put it on the wiki, and he told me, yeah, it's a relation of the stats. It's talking about his statistics. I'm like, okay, cool. So all the guys who say it's about his ability doesn't really make any sense. Because there's nothing that takes precedence. There's nothing that takes precedence over his physical stats. And, the guy, Jabragoda, that we were talking about earlier, he makes this argument where it's I'm not saying that you make the same argument, but you're beginning to. And the argument is that, look at all these other stands with these other stands with none stats, like Burn Down the House and Sky High, whatever. And I'm like, hey, dude, that doesn't make sense because those stands don't have a strength. They don't have a speed. That's why this is none. You know what I'm saying? This is not the case with GR. Yeah. He has a speed and he has a strength.
It does take in consideration if you're talking about the ability specifically and not just the strength and speed.
Right, but what I'm saying that was my point. But what I'm saying is you can't possibly have a stand, like a stand stat, where let's say the stand has a physical power, right? It has its punching speed, punching strength, which we see consistently in the series that a lot of stands do. And we also see consistently that these stands are graded based on their punching strength, right? There only times, the only single times where a stand is influenced or the stats of a stand are influenced by its ability is when that ability takes precedence over its physical stats. I made the example of Made in Heaven, right? Obviously, It's not a very fast stand by itself, right? But it accelerates time, so therefore has infinite speed, whatever, in the stat system. So that's what I'm saying. We can't apply it to GR because it doesn't make any sense. If you want to share with me a certain thing that RTZ has that takes precedence over the physical stats of GR, then I'm open for it.
Yeah, but my point is that if you take in consideration because it just makes more sense for me in my perspective it makes more sense about the whole null, the none, null, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. If it's talking about the ability specifically.
Why?
Because it makes sense because if you take in because it's a new ability, right? We already know what GER is capable of. So if you take in consideration the ability of Requiem, because in context same with the whole speed none and all that, it talks specifically about its ability. And it has null. And then again, in the next statement...
Why does it... Wait, what? When does it ever talk about its ability, dude?
Yeah, in the whole, when it's first introduced in the stand stats, right? It says none, because, it's talking specifically about its ability.
When?
And then again...
Where?
The statement that I showed, right here.
Where?
Right here, the,
Read it for me.
Sorry, what's it called? Stand name... Requiem, Destructive Force, none, the ability, a stand.
Hold on, I didn't hear what you just said. My earbud fell out again. Say that one more time.
Okay. But so the stand stats, right? Destructive Force, none, and then ability, a stand power that manifested, right? The strength reverted to 0, right? It's talking specifically.
Is this the manga one? Is this the manga one?
Yeah. The manga one.
Okay, well the manga one doesn't make any fucking because the manga one doesn't ever talk about its fucking strength. That's what I'm saying.
It
like,
doesn't. That's my whole
no.
point.
I'm saying in general, in the entirety of the series,
no.
it never does. Like it basically never does because it doesn't care. It says ability there. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, but Requiem is Requiem is such a specific thing. Like again, because it's talking about its ability. Because Requiem is like the only exception other than Made in Heaven, but Made in Heaven still stand. But Requiem, and it's talking about Requiem. Even when you talk about the statement that you sent, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has the whole, its abilities were great. Abilities were greatly enhanced, and then it talks about the abilities of Requiem cannot be measured in comparison to any other stand, right? It's talking about the ability, so why it wouldn't be
abilities?
null,
It says
right?
abilities.
But then you look at the other statements, is that it says, oh, its attack power far increased. It was enough to hurt Diavolo. It was enough to hurt Diavolo. Oh, the devastating power. Its attacks were enough to wound King Crimson. Like, but like it never said that like the abilities were like straight up like again like the abilities of Requiem was like cannot be measured. The only thing that cannot be measured about Requiem is the ability itself. But if you take into consideration the strength and all that, it literally shows right there, like the power was enough to hurt.
You just said it's never stated that the abilities of Requiem cannot be measured in comparison to any other existing stand.
No,
and that's literally what it says. That's literally
that was my bad. I was talking when I mixed up the whole abilities and strength and speed. That was my fault. But
the same
my
thing.
point was that it was never
stated
that the strength and speed cannot be compared.
They're the same thing.
Says the it only says that it only says the ability of Requiem cannot be compared. And that's why when it in the whole thing when it talks about the ability specifically, that's why it has null.
Okay, first of all, what does it say abilities and not ability?
Was that like?
What does it say abilities? What is it? There's more than one. And if it's in reference to a physical stat system, then why would it say abilities and not ability if it's just talking about the Requiem ability, It says abilities is more than one, right? And you know that this statement abilities, if you translate
What?
did I lag out at all? Did I lag out? Am I heard? Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible?
No, you're
Okay, cool. So what I was saying is that it says abilities, right? And it's in reference to the stat system. And if you actually translate this fucking like statement, like the raw, if you look at the little kanji for abilities, it says that it can be in reference to like physical stats, like physical statistics, physical output, whatever, It's just the capacity to do something. In this context, if this is abilities, which is more than one, then it's reasonable to believe, with the context of the other statements, that it's in reference to its physical stats, right? Because like the whole argument is that, first of all, it's in reference to physical stats, which is in place to only measure physical stats, which is like physical output, right? The only times that this is not the case is when a stand's ability takes precedence over that stance or has an influence over that stand's stat, right? Strength, speed, range, so on and so forth. And I've asked you to show me how this could apply to GR because I've told you it does not. It can't, right? Because there isn't a single thing that the ability does that takes precedence over the stand's physical stats or strength or whatever the fuck, right? I made the example of Made in Heaven. I told you there's no way, right? We can't apply this to the stand. And I'm inviting you to show me how we can. How can we? Because you understand how the stat system works, right? And the whole thing with the ability having no speed, no strength, no nothing, is like every other stand ability in the verse. Time stop is the same, time race is the same, time acceleration is the same, well, except for the speed, obviously. But they don't have any physical parameters. They're just fucking like, intangible time-based abilities. So the point here is that it doesn't make any sense because GR has its own speed and its own strength, just as the other stands do, like Star Platinum and King Crimson, and those stands are graded by their physical stats, their speed and strength, because it doesn't take precedence over their fucking punching power, right? Obviously, it wouldn't make sense for a Rocky to like give a stand like fucking terrible durability or terrible speed when it's shown to be really fast because of its ability, you know what I'm saying? But this isn't the case with GR, and I've shown you that multiple times. It's not the case, and I invite you to show me where it is. Because we can't get through a point at all here if we just kind of go back and forth about how it's not talking about the physical stats when it's literally in reference to it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the
But it
problem
was
is.
never in reference to the ability. It was never in reference to the strength and speed.
Okay, but that's the
It's
whole
physical.
point. Physical stats are strength and speed. What does it measure? Strength, speed, precision, range, staying power. I don't
Yeah,
know
and
what
again,
else.
it
I
makes sense.
forgot.
It makes sense if you're talking about the ability and not
Why
the
does it
because
make
there's
sense when we're talking about the ability?
because multiple like yeah, just like you explained, there's multiple abilities that like increase like your like physical stats and all that, right? But it's like the whole point was that you say this, it doesn't make sense because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make sense if you take it in context with the strength with the whole physicals, but it does make sense if you take consideration that it's talking about the ability itself.
Why does it not make
And my whole
sense? Why does it not make sense?
you just explain like, oh, it doesn't make sense because again with made in heaven, made in heaven's ability has or like time stop, it its ability,
No,
it's just like
those are
GR, its
way two
ability.
different. Those are two different things. I said. I said that Made in Heaven is an example where the stand's ability takes precedence over a certain
Yeah.
stat, and the Star
And then
Platinum
you
one was where I said that this ability doesn't take precedence over a certain stat. It's
yeah,
still an
that's what I was trying to
intangible
say.
ability, you know, that doesn't have
Yeah,
anything to do
that's what
with
I
its
was trying.
speed or
That's what
strength.
I was just about to say that, but then you interrupted me.
Right, but
I was trying to say that.
what I'm saying is like, look, I'm telling you this, right? Is that I told you I agree with you that a stand can have stats that are influenced by its ability. What I'm telling you right now is that it cannot possibly be the case here. Is what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying now? I'm saying it can't possibly be the case here. I'm saying it's possible in general, but it can't be possible here. If you want to show me how it's
Why can it not
possible,
be
here.
possible here?
Because no ability or part of the ability that Requiem has takes precedence over its physical stats. It doesn't.
Yeah, but it's talking about the ability specifically. It's
Why?
not
When? Where does it say the ability?
it says it right there. It's talking about the stance
It
ability
says
itself, not the
the abilities of Requiem cannot be measured in. How does that have anything to do with the ability of like RTZ? That makes no sense to me at all. What? It's in
yeah,
reference
because
to a stat system that measures physical strength. There's nothing that says it's the ability is taking precedence over it. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. You're arguing nothing. Abilities is plural, more than one. It's in reference to a physical stat system. The only time where we see that it takes precedence over the stand speed and strength is if the ability of the stand itself has some sort of influence on the speed or strength of the stand. It's not the case here, as we know in the story, and there's no reason to believe it with the statement, right? There's nothing talks about it at all. There's nothing that even hints at it, you know. So what's the problem? I don't get it. You know, it's not very hard to understand that. You know. Like I'm just trying to be like reasonable. I'm just trying to show you like it's we have a stat system that Iraqi so generally made for us to see how stands work and how strong they are. And when you grade these stands, you can't just throw a bunch of shit out the window. And that's why certain things change and they're influenced by other things, like Made in Heaven speed being influenced by its speed or by its stand ability, or the speed of not cheap trick, sorry, BIG, whatever, and some other stands and so on and so forth. What I'm saying is that consistently stands that have actual punching power, speed, whatever, and they have abilities that aren't physical or not tangible, and they have these abilities that have no relation to their physical speed and strength and don't take precedence over them, then they're graded by their physical speed and strength, right? I'm saying it's the same thing with GR here. There's no ability or like thing that GR possesses that takes precedence over its speed, strength, or has influence on the speed or strength or whatever the fuck, right? So it doesn't make any sense to say it's about its ability, you know? If it was because of its ability, we would have already known that. We would have like been stated that, but it's not, you know? It doesn't make any sense to say that. So I'm just saying like I would love to know like why you think it's the ability when it's just not. It's just there's no evidence for it being the ability. You read it and it's talking about the abilities, the physical stats of Requiem. Where does it say the ability of RTZ or Revert to Zero has any effect on this? How can you like ever interpret that? That's my question.
Well, like I said, it was just like right here when it's talking about the ability specifically, and then when you look at the Star Platinum statement, it has like the whole like it takes in consideration its strength and speed along with its ability. It doesn't with Return to
Okay.
Zero.
Are you using the manga pages for this?
Yeah, manga.
Okay, and I told you that the manga is not consistent with what it describes. I'm saying that that fucking little paragraph describes literally anything. Read Jojo Gogo and all of those little paragraphs under the stand stat thing that in the book, in the data book, exclusively exist to describe the stand stats. That's literally the only reason why they exist. This little thing right here exists to provide expository information on a stand in general. It's the first time we ever seen how a stand, like, author-wise or omnisciently, right, by the author or whatever the fuck, by the narrator, is being explained, right? So it says anything. It just explains a stand to you, you know? It says, oh, the ability has this, da 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 da. Here's what it does. Here's what it is, so on and so forth. But all the JoJo Go-Go descriptions under the stand stats exclusively mention the ability of the stand, like when it comes to its physical stats, right? So, and it says like some stuff here and there about like some stand's abilities, whatever. But the main thing is it's there to describe the stand's statistics. The manga does not really care about the statistics at all when it comes to what it says. It just describes stuff about the stand that we should know, you know? So we can't equate those because they're two different. Those paragraphs have two different purposes in both data books. One is to describe the stats, and one is to describe the stand. So it doesn't matter if one says strength and one says it doesn't mention it, you know? I don't think it really matters when it's talked about in the data book. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Right. So I'm saying, like, if I read this, I'm like, hey, dude, like, they're all none. Why are they all none? This guy clearly has a speed. Clearly has a strength, dude. Like, it's not, doesn't have, like, no speed, no strength. Obviously, we know that. So why does he have none? So then we see this in the data book. It's like, yo, like, he has none because he's just incomparable to any other stand. And it's in reference to his physical stats. So why would I not believe that it's just beyond every stand? You know, it's consistent because that's actually stated. You know, that specific thing I just said right now is stated, right? But we just use the fucking stand stats, and it just means that by itself. It's incomparable, right? It's incomparable. So it doesn't make any sense. I think that based on what we're seeing in the manga, or not in the manga, sorry, in the data books, he's stronger, he's faster, he has a better ability, like we already mentioned. We already discussed that point, and we ended that point. He has a better ability, he's stronger, he's faster, he's fucking him up. He's putting a beam through Jotaro's head faster than he could react because his speed is incomparable to Jotaro's. You know, it's impossible to even like fathom. It's so like there's just so much that goes toward why this is true. You know, this is just there's so much.
Well, I wouldn't say it's inconceivable because Diavolo was able to react to Requiem.
He didn't react to it. He saw a premonition of his hand getting hurt, so he raised his hand. He didn't react to it. He says he couldn't fucking see it at all. He's just like he could not see. He couldn't even react to it.
He can still predict it. So like
he didn't predict it.
Doesn't
He just saw a premonition of his hand getting hurt, so he just fucking raised his hand up. Doesn't have anything to do with the stand's speed. It just he raised his hand up and it got pierced, right? Which I mean we knew it was fated to happen. You know, he wasn't aiming for anywhere else. It was fated to happen. You know, so it blitzed one of the fastest characters in the verse. Same guy who can go toe to toe with Polnareff at some points. You know, this guy's pretty fast. You know, we know he's very fast. It's stated he's very fast. So it's like, come on, you know, he's fast, and this guy just fucking makes him look like a 5-year-old. The same guy that these characters are like scared in their boots like the entire part. Like they're like, oh, Diablo, oh my god, don't kill me. Oh, this guy's the fucking craziest guy in the verse. And then, you know, this guy comes along and just throws him around. So, I don't know. Like, I think it's a very consistent. I don't know, dude. What do you have to say? I think Star Platinum gets fucked.
I honestly, yeah, considering I can't make any counter arguments because I don't have enough like research or you know, any really counter arguments, you know. I guess yeah, you have proved your point pretty well.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we agree.
Yeah.
Good, respectful debate. No hard feelings. You're
We
one
could
of the you're one of the better guys, like less Spurg guys I've debated with over the years. A lot of the guys are like 5-year-olds who scream the whole time. So you know, good on you. But yeah,
Bro, fucking kill yourself, dude. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Okay. I was joking, but yeah. Nah, I get that. I just we could probably, if you want, we could probably debate this another time if I have more, you know. I just kind of just it's been a long ass time that I've like or even discussed JoJo because this server is like 95% fucking Jujutsu Kaisen mixed with
Yep, that's
whatever the
correct.
fuck. So
That's correct.
yeah, so I it was definitely my fault to go into a debate with very little research or like
No, it's
yeah.
okay.
So it was not my
Honestly,
fault.
honestly, I've talked to a bunch of other guys on this who say the same exact thing, and they all use the same exact argument. Like they use the same exact thing that you're doing, which is fine. You could read more into it, which there really isn't much more to read on. But go ahead, do your research. I don't have anything to do with that. We can debate again if you ever want to. I don't really care. But there just isn't really much else to read, to be honest. Like I've been doing this forever, not just this topic, but like I've been in the JoJo community forever, and there's been like a resurgence of guys who just takes our platinum side because of like Jobber Godot's videos, and a lot of it is like, I think very disingenuous argumentation doesn't really make any sense. So you're free to go read, and if you want to prove me wrong, go ahead. There might be something out there, like not everyone knows everything, but there might be something out there. You never know. But if you ever want to debate me again, just hit me with a DM. I might not be available all the time. Obviously, I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
But regardless, that's fine. Just let me know.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna go. So
All
props
right.
to you,
See
but
you.
see you, dude.